Sometimes we get so stuck in our own ways that it can be difficult to see or approach things from a different perspective. I really like this sentence that the same paths lead to the same places. So, if we're looking for a different result when singing, we need to change the way we do it. To take you out of your comfort zone and make you sing better, I'm sharing with you 5 ways to instantly improve your singing voice that you can start today. They don't require any money or buying anything. They are just 5 things you can do and think about to instantly improve your singing game. So number 1, finding the right octaves for each section of the song. We all know that singing in pitch is probably the most important thing. Listening to someone singing out of pitch can be very unpleasant. But I'm not just talking about singing the right notes. I'm talking about singing the right notes in the right regions. You can sing the same melody in different octaves or different regions, and this changes everything. You can move from something small and timid to something big and intense just by changing the octave you're singing, which is very similar to the way human beings talk. If I start talking to you like this, you're gonna feel very different from before. As I mentioned in this other video, you can use it as a tool to help you tell your story. And you can go from this
Just stay around me and never
someone is to this.
Just stay around me and never
The second one definitely feels more intense and bigger than the first one, and it tells a completely different story. Changing octaves can add depth to your singing style and make your song more powerful and relatable. Point number 2 is tension. Now, don't worry, a lot of people think that tension in the larynx is a bad thing. However, muscular tension, it's a very natural thing that happens every time that you were doing anything, even like breathing, talking or walking. You gotta have muscular tension to do any type of movement or action. And we can change the amount of tension we're using in the larynx while singing, and this changes the sound result completely. You can have some low tension vocal adjustments like this one. Things are not the way they used to be. And some with higher tension like this one. There's nothing left for me to sing. You can also vary the tension between words or syllables, like this. When she takes me deep into her arms, smelling something sweet tonight. This is actually a very complex science with hundreds of variations, but knowing how to use tension properly is a huge factor when it comes to improving your singing style. And this brings me to the third point, which is working on your tone frequencies or filters. You can change how bright or dark your voice comes out of you just by changing the position of some structures we have after the air passes by the vocal folds, like the epiglottis, the soft palate, or the tongue. It's basically like an EQ inside of you, and that's why they're called filters. Again, there are hundreds of variations on this one, but one easy way and a first step that I recommend you to think about is think about the way you pronounce your vowels. Try exploring different ways of pronouncing the same lyrics when singing. Watch different people singing the same song and try to replicate the way they do specific parts. Professional singers change it all the time on purpose, like James Hetfield, for example, when he's singing Saber True. Sometimes he sings yo instead of you and me instead of me.
Yo, you're my mask, you're my cover, my shelter. You're my mask, you're the one who's blamed.
Point number 4 is volume. We can also change the volume we're using while singing, sometimes doing stuff quieter and sometimes doing stuff louder. Singing quieter is not a bad thing at all, and actually it can help you adding depth into your singing style and help you tell your story. Some great artists like Billie Eilish use this type of technique a lot, and it's one of my favorites. Point number 5 is something I like to call motion. You can sing stuff in a very frantic way or in a very slow-paced way. When I'm singing something slower, sad or melancholic, I tend to sing it in a more relaxed way rather than trying to pronounce everything frantically and perfectly. Probably the same way we talk. when we feel like that. Imagine singing a slow Ed Sheeran song on one end and an intense and fast System of a Down song on the other end. And you can also alternate between these two during the song while it evolves. It is again very similar to a conversation. I tend to think of it as a conversation a lot. You're basically saying stuff to someone and the way you say it changes everything. Okay, so to wrap it up, we want to explore octaves, then we want to play with tension, filters, volume, and motion. This helps us find the right vocal adjustments for each section of the song. We want to master how to work with all of this to create a more engaging and interesting singing voice. So try these tips. If you're singing anything in the next couple days, try changing the octave or maybe the tension. Try singing it louder or quieter, maybe darker or brighter, and try changing the motion you're singing. Your stuff's gonna sound way more interesting right away, and I 100% guarantee it. And here's the golden tip. All of the tools we were talking about, they help you increase and decrease the intensity of your voice perceived by the listener. And this is a game changer. So thank you for sticking around. Have you thought of these ways of changing your singing voice before? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.